Repeat sales is important to many businesses, and it's often expressed as brand loyalty. But repeat sales can be an incredible profit booster for your business. You're listening to Entrepreneur Journeys, where I share insights and strategies based on owning and managing businesses while traveling and living on 3 continents. I also interview business owners about their journey, what they learned along the way, and how that can help you with your business growth. For more resources to accelerate your entrepreneur journey, head over to 𝐭𝐡𝐢𝐬𝐤, where I share resources, events, community, and more. I'm your host, Joe Matz. Let's get started. You've probably heard that it's easier to sell again to customers that you already have than to find new customers. I'll be going over a number of different points, and it may seem overwhelming, but what we're doing, we're going to go over a punch list, if you will, or a list of items that are essential for good post-purchase experience. If you're interested in creating more brand loyalty, stick with me. I'm going to go over a number of points, and it may seem overwhelming, this list, but I'm not going to get into any details or specifics in implementation because your business is different from my business. Your business is unique, and the way that you implement these points and what points are more important than other points is going to be very specific to your business. There'll be a way to get more information on what we're talking about here at the end of the video. But stick with me. Think of this as a punch list, as something you can rate yourself on as how you're doing. And if you see areas that you need to improve, just focus on one area at a time. Okay? So let's get into the essentials of good post-purchase experience. You want clarity in the process, like shipping or refunds, and how all of that works. You want to communicate effectively with your customers. And it's difficult to communicate too much. I have seen it on occasion, but it's very rare. Provide proactive support material. Very important. Gather feedback and strive for improvement. Reach out to your customers. Ask them how they're doing. If you're selling a service or you're selling a product, send an email or contact them on social media if you can and ask how it's going. Ask what they're using their products for and the experience that they're having. You can even ask for a testimonial. Mapping the customer journey. Understanding the post-purchase process is critical to providing an excellent post-purchase product. So you can map that out, and I like to put things down physically. I like to actually make kind of a roadmap and walk through the customer experience. If you need some more insight into this, you can talk directly with your customers and ask them what their expectations are on each stage of the process, from the time of awareness of what you have to the purchase of what you have to the post-purchase experience. And ask them, how is it going? That's a very general question, but you might want to get more specific so that you can build a customer map that is a basic, general, gets all the folks in the bell curve, their experience. Lay the groundwork for the pre-purchase. This sets up the expectations, and you do that through letting them know how the process will work and what that journey will look like. Create a facts page of common questions. Everyone has questions. If there's a facts page, it's something easy for your customers to go to see what's going on. Send confirmation emails, provide regular status updates if your product is not immediately being shipped out to people, or if folks are pre-registering for a course or for a webinar or masterclass that's happening a month or 2 months or 3 months out. And offer helpful instructions for products and address the feedback immediately. If folks are commenting on your product or your service, you want to get back to them immediately, or as quick as possible, let's say. Would you like to get in front of more of your ideal clients and at the same time build your brand and create evergreen content? Well, you can do that with podcast guesting. This very moment, you're listening to a podcast that may have been published today or 3 weeks ago or 3 years ago. In a very real sense, you're engaging with the speakers, hopefully enjoying yourself and learning something new at the same time. And you're getting to know the guest and how they help their clients, their customers, and the problems that they solve. You may even be their ideal client and want to learn more about them and download one of their free resources you can find in the show notes, or maybe even become a client of theirs. See, when you're a guest on a podcast, you will enjoy that same kind of engagement. It is perhaps the easiest, most cost-effective way to get in front of new audiences. Learn how you can be a guest on the right podcast and engage with your ideal clients with the free resources available at gapologist.com. Keep in touch with updates. It's important to communicate effectively to increase the customer satisfaction. Send emails or SMS if that's your thing, or updates regarding the order. You want to communicate with your customers. I personally don't prefer folks to text me. I don't look at my text right away. I'm not the person who, here's my phone ringing and I have to look for my phone to answer the text. I might go hours, sometimes days. So texting is not an effective method for me. Email is much more effective for me, but that depends on your client. And you can use both systems, emails, SMS, and social media also, to reach out to your people and provide educational content. If that makes sense for your particular product or service, providing educational content can increase the satisfaction and increase the utility of what the person, the customer, has purchased. Give support that your customers need. Now, this is obvious, right? You want to offer resources for products. If something has to be installed or something is a little complicated, if your product is a little bit complicated to get to use correctly, provide videos and information so that they can follow those instructions and get the best use and the most effective use from the product that they bought. Create accessible communication channels. Okay, so you might want to use YouTube videos or have specific videos on a private server that you have available through your website. Encourage customer discussions and foster personal connections. Depending on your product or service, you might want to form a group and get your customers together, get them talking about it and sharing tips and all. Providing how-to guides and care tips, instructional videos, maintenance videos, things like that, if that makes sense for your product or service. Create a smooth return and exchange policy. Importance of being customer friendly is that you have a process for easy, smooth returns. Now, you're not going to make any money on the product you return, but if you do this correctly, you will build more brand loyalty. And I often think of Amazon. I purchase a lot of things from Amazon. And one of the reasons is I know I can return the product if it doesn't work for me, if it doesn't fit correctly, if it's not the right size. You can't tell everything in a picture before you purchase, but I know that with Amazon, I can return it. So they've got my loyalty. If you can do the same with your product and services, you'll also build that brand loyalty. Include details about that policy. Make it very clear. You can include it in your facts section if you want. Another effective method and strategy is to offer loyalty programs and provide the benefits to customers that are in your loyalty program. Now, we know Starbucks does that. If you buy things from Starbucks, if you have a Starbucks card and you're getting those points, it's very effective. It's not so effective, again, this is very personal, it's not effective for me because the ability to gather those points, I don't go to Starbucks every day. Most of my points expire before I get to any level. But I did have an experience with an airline when I lived in Brazil. Every 10 trips that you made, so a round trip would count as 2. So every 5 round trips, I got a free round trip ticket.
And I used that tremendously when I was traveling a lot in Brazil. I would often get free trips. About every 4 or 5 months or so, I'd get a free trip. So make sure that your customer loyalty program is appropriate to the major part of your clients. We talked about getting feedback before, and I want to emphasize the importance of that. Continuous feedback from your customers is so important. So have a system that you design for your particular industry, your particular product and service. Make it unique to you for you to gather feedback from your customers. You might use videos, you might have video conference, you might use asynchronous communication for video or audio or emails or something like that. There's a lot of technology out there today that you can use to get effective feedback from your customers. And of course, go above and beyond. Meet your customers' expectations and go beyond. Do the little extra. Express appreciation through small tokens of gratitude. It might be a physical snail mail letter. It might be a sticker that you send them. It could be just a message, just an email, or just a short message on social media to make them feel special. One thing that I've learned to do is to use the video messaging on LinkedIn. Now, many people don't know about the video messaging available on LinkedIn. So when I do create a video for my clients, it is a surprise to them. And the surprise increases the value, I believe. I do hope you got some value from this. I know I went over a lot of points real quickly. You'll be able to download a checklist in the show notes. There'll be a link to the checklist, or you can go to gapologist.com where you'll find access and links to everything and all the resources that are available, events that are coming up. And I do hope you take advantage of that. Look on the list for something that you can improve immediately. Look for a quick hit, something that you can change right now to increase your customer experience and grow your business. Bye now.
Thank you for listening to Entrepreneur Journeys. Remember to subscribe so you catch all the episodes, and check out the show notes for any free giveaways or gifts that were mentioned during this show. Entrepreneur Journeys is brought to you by 𝐭𝐴𝑥able, providing the insights, tools, and transformative structures to help you reach your business summit. I'm your show host, Joe Matz, and until next time, I hope your journey is filled with breathtaking views and successful outcomes.